This slight modification to your pull-ups will keep you from developing elbow pain, plus increase your pulling strength. I call it the pulling prep. It's a sorely overlooked movement that, when done correctly, will change everything about your pull-ups. I've been teaching this movement for years, but today I'm going to share more detail about the pulling prep than I've ever shared in any video. And one thing a lot of people seem to get confused on is how to keep the elbows from bending when doing the pulling prep. So let's start off with a simple cue that you can use right away to shore up any confusion. Screw your arms. Yeah, I know it sounds funny, but when you get this down, it'll help you improve scapular strength and mobility in all of your pulling movements. Try this out with me right now. With your arms fully locked out, rotate your thumbs outward, allowing the entire arm to turn. Now, pull your shoulders back. That's how you want to perform the pulling prep. And yes, this still applies when you're using a bar, but obviously do it without letting your hands rotate. Now, for a lot of people, it's easy to pull the shoulders back, but they bend their elbows in the process. Screwing the arms allows you to bring focus to both the arms and the shoulders. In that way, you ensure you're doing the pulling prep in a way that gives you the greatest benefits. Here are some additional thoughts from GMB co-founder and physical therapist Jarlo Ilano.
One of the more common problems when people start learning how to do pull-ups, or maybe just putting more effort into doing them, is that they use their arms too much. Which you may think, well, yeah, I'm doing a pull-up. How can I do them without using my arms? Well, yes, you literally can't do a pull-up without using your arms, but that's not the point. The point is that our backs and our shoulder muscles are much stronger than our upper arm and our forearm muscles. And over the course of time, if your technique is just to grip and rip, and use your biceps and your elbows more than your back and your shoulder muscles, the capacity of those muscles and the tendons, you're going to go beyond it. And they're going to start to hurt and ache. So when you learn how to distribute those forces better throughout your whole upper body, your back, your shoulder girdle muscles, along with your arms, you're going to have not only much stronger pull-ups, you're going to have less strain on those elbows and forearms.
Let's take a look at 3 pulling variations that you can work on. Plus, I've added an extra bonus at the end of the video. Our first variation is with the rings. And this is where you're going to perform 3 pulling preps before you do a slow row. Lower yourself, then perform 1 more pulling prep. Now remember to screw your arms during the pulling prep and the row. Form a couple of sets of these and you'll be good to go. By the way, I suggest the 3 pulling preps only with the row since it's a bit easier. That way you'll be able to get a better feel for the movement by doing a couple reps of the pulling prep in a row. No pun intended.
Starting more horizontally is not only a little bit easier, it also helps your shoulder blades move more, and that gives you a better feeling of how they should move and what muscles are working when you do that.
For this next one, you'll use a set of rings or something similar. And don't worry if you don't have any rings. I'm going to show you a quick variation here in a second. But you'll have your toes on the ground for support. And you'll perform a single pulling prep, then jump to the top position of the pull-up, hold it, slowly lower yourself, then perform 1 more pulling prep. Here's Jarlo with a bit more about that.
Making things a little bit lighter by taking some of the resistance onto your feet lets you feel more what the shoulder girdle muscles are doing and also how your lats are locking in.
Now here's a variation of this that you can perform with a bar. You're going to perform that pulling prep, and you're going to jump up to the top of the bar, slowly lower yourself, then perform another pulling prep. Now the pulling prep done by itself for multiple reps is a good warm-up. However, as you get good at it, I suggest focusing more on just doing pull-ups, since the pulling prep will become a natural part of your pull. Our last variation is the full pull-up from a dead hang. Now perform your pulling prep, then do a slow pull-up, and 1 more pulling prep after slowly lowering yourself. Work up to being able to perform multiple reps of these to dial in the skill.
But remember, the goal for this is not to do this every time before every rep of every pull-up, for the rest of your life forever after this. The goal is to know how to coordinate all of your upper body muscles, your back, your lats, your shoulder girdle, your scapular muscles, and your arms, and your forearms, and your grip together, all in one unit. So after you practice this for a bit, really feel how you can engage your shoulder girdle, how you can work your lats in, lock them in, use your arms, use your grip together, all in one piece, then you got it. And you won't have to concentrate on this, and then you just do the movement, and it feels good, and you got it.
Here are a couple extra bonus clips for you, especially good if you're working on your 1-arm chin-up. For all the single arm pulling prep moves, I suggest only performing that pulling prep once, then perform your pulling exercise. Could be a regular row, it could be an archer row, or maybe you're working up to the full one arm chin up, even if you do have a little bit of assistance. If this is the first time for you adding in the pulling prep to your pull-ups, well, in the beginning, it's gonna make everything feel a lot more difficult. But with practice, you'll find your overall pulling strength increasing, plus your elbows and the rest of your body is gonna feel great. Next, be sure to check out this video on the best pulling exercise on the gymnastic rings.